Disclaimer: just because we do it doesn't mean you should.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Jeff and Adam Build a Zenith. Today we are taking a break from our chronological order of videos. I try to keep the videos in chronological order for my own sanity as well as yours. But in this case we're going to take a break because I want to get some information out for the sliding seats that I just installed that you see behind me. So I filmed the whole thing of how to do it for the pilot side, and I already did the passenger side. And so just all this, anything else that you haven't seen before in another video, just pretend like it's not there. Let's get into the sliding seat install for the Zenith 750 Cruzer. And so I've already put this side in right here. As you can see, it's almost all the way in, but I haven't riveted yet just in case I need to like take it apart to reference something. But the test fit seems to be working pretty well, and I think I did everything right. It was quite a pain, but now that I've already done this, the next one, which is the pilot seat that we're just about to do, it should go even faster. So just to give you a look at that, well, it's not a very good look. Maybe I'll roll some clips in here, I don't know. But we're gonna go through building all of this anyway, but this is what it looks like. So you have this handle that you can use to unlatch it and then roll it. I'm not crazy about the rollers. I think the rollers kind of suck. It's hard to like kind of roll back and forth. So that would be mostly my only gripe about it, but otherwise it works pretty well. And so that's what we're going to do, and we're going to start doing it on this seat right here, just to give you a kind of a reference before we get started. When you get this kit, it should have these plans. It has 2 pages of these well, yeah, they're not, or plans, or whatever you want to call them, kind of plans, these drawings. And you'll notice one of them says Stoll 750 and then the other says Cruzer. At first I thought that these were 2 different you know, like if we have the Cruzer, so I thought we didn't need the Stoll version of the plans, but that appears to not be incorrect, because you need all that information in order to make this work. So this is kind of your outside view drawing, kind of shows some of the stuff, and then we have more detailed drawings and also kind of how you would actually make these things, like the bend radius and the angle and stuff. Fortunately, we don't have to make anything, thank goodness, but we do have a kit. The kit, obviously half of the kit is already in there, but we have these pieces like this right here, and it's pre-drilled on one side and not on the other, but we'll get into that more as we go here. And then here's basically sort of the list of what I'm doing. So first we're going to remove the rivets, because we have to take out a thing. We have to remove the old seat support. We're going to remove the rivets. We're going to drill the pilot holes to size. We're going to make L angles. We're going to match drill the L angles. We're going to transfer lines to the seat base. I think that'll work. We're going to use a template that I made to locate the bolt holes, so we're kind of cheating, but hopefully that will make things a lot faster. And I do recommend probably just taking the time to make a template, because it will probably save you time. Drill the bolt / rivet holes, drill the bolt and rivet holes in the base, the seat base and support, basically drill through them. We need to leave space for the nut plates for the bolts, and we need to drill holes for the nut plates, rivet holes for the nut plates. And we need to deburr everything and a bunch of other stuff that I ran out of space for on this piece of paper. So it'll become clear like once we're actually getting started on it, because it'll kind of just be like obvious what the next thing is, or at least hopefully it'll be obvious. And maybe that won't go like that at all, because maybe this will actually turn out to be still more difficult than I thought. I don't know. But also, just for reference, this is a template here that I 3D printed. I have a CR10 3D printer. I don't know if there's any other 3D printers that are watching this channel, but you know, the people, not the machines, the 3D printers. But anyway, if you just in case you're curious, I printed this on a CR10, which has a 300mm by 300mm print area, and this thing just maxed it out, because we're at 295mm across and 280mm from the top to bottom here. And this is clear, so it's kind of hard to see, but the idea, I haven't used this yet, so we'll see if it works, but the idea is at the very corners I have a little notch, and that should be where all of the holes need to go for our seat tracks, which we're going to take a look at in a moment here. So let's just get, ooh, that kind of came apart there. Well, that's okay, it still works good enough. let's just get started on this baby, and we're gonna start by drilling out the old rivets. Okay, so this is the first thing we need to do is take out this seat pan, or no, seat base. This is the seat base right here. This is the seat pan, the thing that the actual like seat is made out of. Just so we're kind of getting our terminology right here. The first thing we need to do is remove this old seat support. So what we're going to do is drill out the holes, drill out the rivets right here, and then drill out the rivets on the front, right there, and then on the bottom as well. And we're not going to drill out these ones on this L angle because, because the rivet heads are blocked by the landing gear, and I don't want to take off the landing gear just to get to those rivets. So we're just going to leave it in place, leave this L angle here. It's not going to hurt a thing. It'll just be sitting there hanging out until we want to remove it for some reason. And we're going to remove these rivets right here along the lip, or this sort of flange of the gear channel right here. So we're going to remove the rivets that are under this seat section, and what I'll do is I'll come under here and actually label them with a Sharpie to make sure that I am drilling out the right rivets. Okay, so now we have pulled this seat support out, which is great. Now we need to kind of start working with the new seat supports. And a couple things about this one: we're actually going to have to already deviate from the plan. So we're not going to drill all these pilot holes out to size yet, because I forgot that on this forward seat support, this taller one, there are no holes. And so we have to drill the holes out so that this will fit in here. Now, speaking of fitting this in here, interestingly enough, there is one hole. Let's see, can you see that? I hope you can see that. There is one hole that was already drilled in this the cabin side assembly, because the cabin side assembly was made at the Zenith factory, and so they put that together, and so it comes all, you know, put together. But there are holes on the side. There's actually these open holes right there and there. So there's two of them on the side, and then there's one down there. And that is actually pretty great, because then that gives us a good locating hole. But it's only one locating hole, but that will be right on the very edge. So this edge hole right here. And by the way, if you're trying to tell the difference between like the two sides, because you'll get you know, sort of mirror copies of the seat supports for, you know, both seats. So the way to tell is that you want the flanges in the lightning holes to point backwards, so it's sort of pressed in and aft, and then the top is going to be the side that has a fatter flange, and there will not be any holes on the top. And then on the side for the door side, the outboard side, you're going to have cutouts. You're going to have cutouts right here for the extrusions and whatnot. So in here, and these can be a little tricky to get in sometimes, but you want to get them like this. Yeah, so you can see there's cutouts there for the extrusions in the side of the cabin. And pretty much the same deal for the aft seat support. And it has this little lip, kind of this little extension here on the edge, which I think there's actually too many holes to even be able to reach and rivet. So we probably won't be using all of these, but it has those holes right there pre-drilled to come in here. And actually we'll probably have to trim this a little bit. I had to trim it on the other side, so we may have to trim this edge to fit in here, but it basically fits right along. Yeah, it's supposed to fit along the extrusion. I'm not sure, I can't remember if I just drilled the hole like this or if it was pre-drilled, but this hole for the bolt is just too close to the extrusion to allow this to slip in between it. So we'll have to trim this up. But anyway, first let's deal with the forward seat support here. So what I'm going to do is actually I'll drill this out to A4 size. So we'll go to A4 because that is the size of the hole that is already in the cabin. We'll try and do it like this. So let's see, so cabin side. So we'll drill this to A4. And then we'll get our clecos and cleco this baby. Yep. Okay, gotta put it kind of an angle there. There we go. All right, let's cleco this thing. And of course, in case I didn't say it already, there are many ways you can do this, different orders of things, but I'll just show you the way that I'm doing it here. All right, so we're clecoed up on that one side, so we just want to straighten this up. Now, we can't just have it run to this hole, by the way, this hole that was already in here that was drilled for the old support, because it will not be straight. It won't be perpendicular to the the rest of the seat area. So probably the easiest thing to do is just sort of square it up along here. It doesn't have to be perfect because we do have a decent amount of flange here, but we want it to be pretty close, obviously. So if we kind of bring it up here and figure out where it is squaring up, right there, that looks good right there. And then we can get our other Sharpie and we can just make a mark. We could just make 1 or 2 marks just to get an idea. Again, we're not going for spaceship precision. Yeah, and the other thing we could do, we could just make it easy. We could put a line along this flange. That might be nice for later. I can't really get a Sharpie down on the other side, so we'll do that. So let's pull this cleco out here, and we can just kind of double check that this is mostly the same by checking and see. Well, let's see, let's go by this hole. So this hole from this back sort of flange, the lip right there of the skin, it is 265 millimeters, and from this lip right there to that hole, we are looking at 265 millimeters. So within a millimeter of each other, right along there. Okay, first I'm going to drill a couple locating holes so that way I can actually match this stuff up. So I've got a block of wood underneath here to support the skin, and we're going to do a center punch to make it easier. Oh, that's a little too powerful. A little too powerful. Okay. I don't want to actually dent metal, or you know what I mean. There we go. Boom. Okay. Cool, so that's super groovy. Let's get our A3 sized bit. Get our A4 over here. I like to keep my bits nice and organized. Keeps me from reusing old bits and that sort of thing. Okay. And let's get this guy here. And we'll go ahead and drill a few holes. I think this bit is just about done, actually. Oh yeah, that's a pretty crappy bit. Alright, you go in the trash can. We're gonna get a new bit because I don't have time for dull bits. I don't have time for unsharp bits. Okay, now that I have those holes drilled, we can put this back in place, cleco this baby, and then drill the rest of the pilot holes. And then drill them up to size A4 is what we will do. So first we need an A4 cleco right here, or number 30. And we'll get our number 40 sized clecos. Cleco in there, like that. I think this will work out pretty good. This was very confusing, very much more confusing the first time. Now, if this, I think this looks pretty darn good. And of course there is kind of some like wiggle, you know, some sort of bendability to the parts. Now we need our number 30 bit here, our long number 30. Put a little bit of bow lube on there to start out. And we will just match drill all of these holes. And so we can go ahead and drill those out to A4, or yes, A4. Also, just referencing our plans here, the let's see, so the top holes for the seat supports, the seat support into the seat base is going to be A5, but in fact I think almost everything is A5 except for the holes that we're drilling right now. So the forward seat support on the bottom skin, those are going to be A4 pitch. Oh, pardon me, A4 pitch 40, and this will be sort of slightly easier to do this from the bottom. All right, now we'll put a couple A4 clecos in here. Put a goodly number of them. What's up with that one? I don't know what the deal is with that hole. Strange. Okay, there we go. And put it over here. And like that. And like that. Oops, wait. Oh, snap. Okay, I made a boo-boo. How did I make a boo-boo? Oh, okay, I drilled through the hole that was already there. Alright, let's drill out the rest of these. Alright, yay. Alright, now that we have the front seat support drilled out and clecoed in place, now let's drill these holes out to the proper size, because these holes back here are already A5, so these need to be A5 as well. Zenith was nice and they put pilot holes in, but we still need to drill these out to A5. And then we will be able to cleco them in place and do other things. So here we go. You know what? Let me get this thing out of here somewhere. We'll just put it over there. Okay, looks pretty good. All right, same thing with the aft seat support. The big flat side is going to go, the larger flat angle is going to go on the top. The flanges point aft. Oh yeah, that's right. We got to trim this baby too. Okay, let's do a little trim. Let me get some. I like these guys. Somehow, cuts to the left always work better than cuts to the right, but that could just be because I'm right-handed. Oh, yeah, well, we'll go from this angle. So I'm pretty sure, actually, let me just get an idea. Let's put this guy in place. And it's like, I can't even, yeah, that bottom hole, we're not even gonna be able to get to that, so we can just pretty much forget about that one. Let's go something like this. A nice swooping curve. Might even curve. Let's just try it, see how that works. Alright, I think you can see what I'm talking about, but in case you can't, it will be very obvious when you're doing this yourself. Okay, I'm hitting something else now. Oh, duh. Okay, whoops. Didn't see that. We gotta punch those guys out. Somehow I missed those. So these guys right here. There's a bunch of layers going through there, so it's extra difficult to get them out. That would explain a lot, though. That makes a lot of sense. There we go. Okay. Oh, daggum. All right, let's keep going. There we go. There we go. All right. That was a tricky little guy right there. Okay, let's see how this fits now. So we want to slide it in with the flange first and then rock it into place. Or not, we don't want to go under that flange, we want to go on top of it. And we have to try and get up to the edge. A little tricky to get in place, but it seems to work pretty well. We're clearing that nut, so that works pretty good. It's just kind of extra tight. There we go. So we'll get this in place. And unfortunately, this one we have to cleco from the bottom, which is just a bit more of a pain. But we won't put too many clecos in here. We'll just put like just enough to hold things in place so that we can get some like measurements and stuff. Really got to push that hard. It might be because of that flange thing. Alright, yeah, that's a little wobbly. Oh yeah, that's way off there. That is way off. All right, we're gonna have to do something with that. Cause that's like, yeah, that's way, way off. What am I hitting? Oh, son of a gun, I'm hitting that rivet. Okay. All right. No, I remember why. All right. So I remember now that with this aft seat support, not only do we have to cut the corner off here so it will clear the bolt or the nut, but we also need to actually sort of reduce this flange right here, because it's actually hitting this extrusion. If you can see that, it's the extrusion that this flange is resting against. It's kind of like, it should be sort of just on the edge, but it's like hitting up against the side of it, and it's not letting it sit flat. So we're going to have to use some very technical processes. First one we're going to try is the old squisher. All right, so we can sort of squish this. That might help. Just a little. Nothing crazy. It's working pretty well already, actually. There we go. So you see how it's kind of reduced right there? I think that will help a lot. Let's make sure it's not going to be a problem though. Whoop, it's bending it a little too much there. Bent it a bit much, but you know, that's actually kind of good. That's a little too much. We're gonna flatten that out, but it's kind of good in the sense that we need those holes to actually to fit a little bit better. I mean, we need that flange to be a little bit farther back, because the holes in the bottom skin need to line up better. So that looks a little, maybe still a little bit too squished, a little too warped. Let's try this. It's nice and easy. Nice and easy. That looks pretty flat. All right, let's see how she fits. In there, over that. Let's see, is there something else that's keeping it? So over here it fits great on that end. On this side, honestly, not so great. And that's a problem. We can't have it fit not so great. It has to fit at least good enough. Alright, so let's do this. We're going to do some precision bending now. So now what we're going to do is stick this corner in here. I mean, I could just totally get rid of the corner, but I don't really want to. We're going to bend this a little bit. Just a little bit. Bend it back a little bit. Just to give us a little bit of space here. Those holes have got to match up. if we can get most of these to line up, like almost all of them, then we can match drill and get the rest to work well. So let's put these guys in here. Okay, now it's time to, we're gonna match drill this aft seat support to this extrusion right here. Don't know if you can really see what I'm doing exactly, but you'll get the idea. And I'm using this nice 90-degree attachment. This is a, interestingly enough, Terry tool attachment, 90-degree thing. Part number 3, I think is what it says. Anyway, all right, and let's match drill one of these guys. Let's start where it's easiest, towards the top. So let's just go ahead and change out the bits here, and then we will, well, we'll drill this out to A5. Or in this case, this is actually a number 12 bit. But it works nicely. All right, that's pretty good. Probably we might have to match drill those up a little bit again to get everything to fit together nicely.